Hello, my name is Sam Holland. I'm one of the instructors here at Tom's Dive and Swim. I'm going to talk to you a bit about some of the scuba gear we have here at the shop. We'll start here with what we call the buoyancy compensator, the BC. That's this vest that you see around the dummy. What do you call it?
Mannequin.
Mannequin. That's the vest you see around the mannequin, and what this does is it allows you to inflate and deflate air, allowing you to go up and down underwater. So you can see you can press this gray button right here, and it'll inflate the BC, which of course will make the scuba diver go up. And then we can press this button here, and we'll deflate some of the air out of the BC, which will help us go down. Buoyancy is very important underwater because we want to remain right in the middle of the water column. Because if we're on the bottom, we're going to be kicking up the bottom. We might be kicking coral, we might kick fish, stir up the bottom, you could have bad visibility. So it's very important that we stay right in the middle of the water column. The second thing we'll talk about here is going to be the regulator, and that's what we're actually breathing the air out of. You'll notice right back here, it attaches to the tank. And what happens is air is going to go through these hoses, travel around to where we have a mouthpiece, and this goes in your mouth. And you can see by pressing this outside button, air is going to come out of it, and that's how we can breathe. So we're just breathing in and out the whole time we're underwater. Very important to never hold your breath underwater. So we're always breathing just like we are here on land. You'll notice we have a second mouthpiece, second stage coming out of the regulator. This is your backup. We always have backups in scuba diving. That way we can dive together as a buddy team, and you don't have to worry about running out of air as much. You always have someone there to look out for you. On the other side here, we have what's called our gauges. We have our depth gauge on top, which lets us know how deep we are. And we have our pressure gauge on bottom, which lets us know how much air pressure we have left. So we're able to calculate how long we can stay underwater with our remaining air pressure. That about does it. So I've been very lucky, and I've had a chance to travel all over the world and see lots of really cool things. You can see behind me, you've got a shot here of a whale shark. This picture was taken in Belize, and you can see that it's about 30 feet long. It's the largest fish in the world. I unfortunately have never seen one of these, hopefully someday. But I have got to see a lot of cool things. I got a chance to do cave diving with great white sharks, so we saw 15, 16-foot great white sharks. Luckily, we were in a cave, so we were nice and safe, but I've got some really great pictures to show. And we've seen turtles, seen dolphins, we've seen lots of stingrays, lots of eels. I've seen smaller sharks outside of cages. But, you know, and a lot of times the really cool things are the really small things. You get to see seahorses a lot of times underwater, which are really great because they're really hard to find, so it's special when you get to see one. You get to see octopus a lot of times when you're diving at night, because that's when they come out to hunt. And you get to see all sorts of little snails, little tiny, really pretty snails underwater. They have gorgeous designs on their shells. So things like that are always a lot of fun. I've been able to dive in Cozumel, which is in Mexico, Belize, which is actually just south of Mexico, Venezuela, which is in South America, and I've even gone overseas to dive a little bit in Thailand. There's still a lot of diving for me to do. Australia is very high on the list. Anywhere in Indonesia, someplace like that in the South Pacific. So luckily for me, it's an endless possibility of places I can go. So I'm hoping in the near future I get to do a lot more of that.
And what's the best thing about diving? Why do you like to dive?
Best thing about diving is you get to completely free your mind. There's no sound underwater. There's nothing you have to do. You just get to go dive. It's very peaceful. It's very quiet. And it lets you just go out and see a whole new world. See something that you don't get to see here on land. Completely different creatures, completely different environment, and just getting to escape from everything up here on land and get underwater.